Hi, my name's Wade Betts, and this is my wife Shannon, and this is our little dog Gidget. We have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Prior to this, we did camping off our motorcycles, and we've been to Yellowstone, Alaska, Canadian Rockies, and so this is a new process in our life that we're doing, and it suits us a little better. I'm going to show you some things and show you what we've done.
So the back of the Jeep is a work in progress. There are several things that will change, but for right now we have Built-Right Industries MOLLE panels on both sides that we can attach various things to. Currently the Max Tracks are on there. We have the wrap-on green flushable potty, which is pretty amazing for making camping not feel like camping. It basically is a low voltage, kind of like a food saver for your business. So that's been really great to travel with. And then we have the refrigerator and the cook partner stove in this SoCal teardrop slide. And so it will just come out here, and then the stove comes out here, and then we just have the cook partner cooktop.
And then on the back side we have our tank for our propane hooked on to the Built-Right system. And then we also have our CO2 tank that we built, and our little chainsaw, battery powered. Alright, and so our fridge is a National Luna, and it's a 50 liter, and it's been great. We've had no issues with it. We love it. And
it's a dual zone.
Dual zone, yes. Cool. We've got the GoFastCamper on there, and we really like that. It's easy to set up and take down. The only issues we've had with it is that along the snaps, bugs want to crawl in through there. So other than that, we're working on trying to get that problem taken care of. And then we're gonna mount our Max Tracks up on the roof, but we haven't done that yet. So.
And what about your awning?
Okay, so this is the Alucab awning, and we've been pretty pleased with it. Now, mounting it was a job, and getting it the right height with the GoFast, and making sure that the doors opened and it was out of the way. That was kind of a job in itself. We're actually going to add we have 2 brackets on there, and we're going to add a 3rd bracket to help on this side with more of the weight of the awning and try to stabilize it better. It's fine with 2, but I just would feel better if we had 3 on there. So, and we've had it in, we went to South Core Island, and the wind was very strong. Of course, we had to tether it out, but it did really well. So it's been really good. And of course, we bought the sides for it, and it's really nice. We don't put up the sides all the time, but it's nice if you have a wind coming through, you can put one side on, or you can have a little bit more privacy if you want. That's really a nice feature, and we really like that.
What do you think of your bed rug?
I love the bed rug. The bed rug is awesome. We put this in there, and then of course I mounted the slide out system in there on top of it, and it's by far, it's easy to clean, it's pretty durable, and for the amount of money, I think it's great value. Bang for the buck. It's awesome. And with the toilet, we went ahead and mounted that in there too. So that is mount it in there, and then we ran our cord from underneath the backside and plug it into the 115 volt 400 watt inverter that the Jeep comes with, and that works out great. So we've been pretty pleased with all of those things. So we also put this mountain hatch cutting board on here, and to be quite honest, we haven't used it a whole lot, but if we needed to, we would. So we got it, actually it was a scratch and dent, so we got a good deal on it, so we went ahead and got it. But we just put the Velcro down and lay that down, and so most of the time we just work off the bed rug.
What's great about it though is it keeps the ridges of the tailgate from digging into your knees when you crawl in and out.
Yes.
So the mountain hatch is dual purpose in that it's great for if you need it as a cutting board, but it's really nice because it just makes your tailgate a smooth, level surface instead of the tailgate ridges that you typically feel in your feet and knees when you're crawling around.
So one of the things that we did is that we removed the rear seat, and my dad and I built this out of plywood, and we made a little place for the dogs to sit because we have 2 little Jack Russells. And so I used all the existing holes, factory holes, for the seats, and we of course put bed rug on there, and I don't know if we made a little slide out so that if Gidget wants to, she can ride right here. The one thing that I would have done different, I would have made that a little narrower. I thought that it would be good, you know, that it could stop on the back seats, but I think that if I would have made it where it went between the seats. But other than that, it turned out pretty good. Went ahead and did cutouts so that we can put stuff down in there. We actually have some of our recovery gear under here, stuffed it under there in stuff sacks, and we do have some legs under here to support it, and I used cardboard to make my template for putting this in. And we've been so far put these little rubber pieces in there to keep it from rattling. It's really pretty tight. It doesn't rattle at all, which would drive me nuts. So you can see we put the dogs in there, and we got her a little fan that helps keep her cooled off. She gets a little nervous when we go down the road.
So far on the interior here, we've started with the 6070 on the dash to hold the phones, which we really like. I can't say enough about how great that system is. It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth every penny. We have Carolina Metal Masters attachments here, RAM mounts, and then our mirrors. We have some mirrors for when the doors come off that go through these holes right here. Also a Carolina Metal Masters RAM mount for putting the iPad on. We have a weapon gear holster for you just never know what you might run into. This holster attaches into existing bolt holes, so no modification permanently was needed to add that.
And then the best top.
And then the best top Sunrider, which
is
is
awesome.
Wonderful. You just unclip it and push it open, and it clears the front of the GoFastCamper. So one of our favorite accessories for the Jeep so far.
So we went ahead and did the dual batteries. This is the Genesis with the Odyssey batteries. This installation probably took a whole afternoon. I will say this, the one thing about it, when you do this, if you unhook it, the Jeep lost everything. When I hooked it back up, I didn't have a backup camera, nothing. I got online and I looked around, and people had mentioned that the same thing, if they left the batteries unhooked for a long period of time, that they would lose some of the features. So they said wait till the next morning, and that's what I did, and lo and behold, the backup camera system came back, everything came back. But it was quite nerve-wracking to go to bed that night and think that you really messed some stuff up. The positive cable, when I did this over here, was a little bit short, and I had to bend this right here. I don't know if you can see that. So that could be designed a little bit better. The cable really needs to be a little bit longer. But other than that, it was just take my time. They had a video online that I followed, and it worked out great. I've got the refrigerator hooked up to it, and I've got two 12-volt cigarette lighters back there on the driver's side, the back corner, hooked up. So far, it's done really well. The one thing that we are going to do is we're looking at getting a solar panel, because if you don't, if you stay put, of course you don't drive, then your alternator doesn't charge up the batteries. So, and then we also have a G screen that we installed, and that plugs in right here, and I ran it inside of this plastic where all the cables go through, and that was a pain. That was pretty hard, but it worked out well. And over on this side, which I wanted to come through the firewall, and right there is a black plastic piece that Jeep puts in there, and you can pop that out and that goes right to the inside. It's so handy. So this is the G screen that goes with the battery, and so it'll tell you your main battery voltage, and then it'll tell your auxiliary battery, and then if you turn it on boost, let's say you run your batteries down, it will use both batteries to jump you off to start your vehicle. And this was a pain to mount because it has a little circuit board that hooks to this, and so I went online and saw that some people have mounted it here. The problem that I ran into is with that box, there's not a whole lot of room down here. So if I was doing this over, instead of trying to get it in the center here, I would probably bring it down a little bit farther so that the box could come down and I could mount it to the side inside the panel over here. Okay, Shane at Genesis has been awesome. I've called him like 3 times to ask him questions, and I even called him and left a message with him when I was installing the batteries, and I lost everything on a Sunday afternoon, and he called me back. He messaged me back. So super nice, is patient, works with you, and been great. Alright, so we went ahead and got the Smittybilt winch, and so far we got the synthetic rope and the Factor 55 Ultra hook, which has been really good, and it's a 12,000 pound winch, and so far no complaints. That thing has worked really well. We've actually pulled some trees up that when the tornadoes came through, blew them over and pulled them up and tried to restake them for my mother-in-law and father-in-law at their house. It was really easy to install, and the LOD bumper, I like the bumper. I'm a little bit disappointed in, I mean it's really fairly new. I'm already starting to get some little, looks like maybe surface rust popping up through the powder coating, and so that's a little bit disappointing. We put these clear water lights on there. We had these for our motorcycles, and we're going to move these. The location right now is okay, but we're gonna probably move them up higher and on the side over there. But these are, we really like these lights, but they're just not good right here. The upcoming changes are we're going to put new suspension on there. We ordered the 2.5 Fox front shocks. They don't make them for the back yet, and we did the Metal Cloak 3.5 inch lift game changer. So whenever that comes in, that's going to be the next thing that we do, and so I'm excited about doing that. The thing that I can say about the Jeep is that we have been very pleased with it. It handles well. The one thing that was disappointing to me was that the back end was too soft. And if you put, as long as you don't put anything in it, it's great. But the minute you add any type of weight to it, it does not have a stable feel to it. So that's the one thing that I think Jeep could really improve on, is stiffening up their rear suspension.
Alright, so we carry most of our odds and ends in these 3 Alu boxes. This size worked well for us because we can stack them. You can fit a ton in them, but you can still pick them up. You don't get them so heavy that you can't lift them by yourself. We love that they're weather tight. Very similar to the panniers we had on our dual sport motorcycles. We packed everything in those, so this felt like home for us. They're designed to stack on top of each other, so they're stable, and then we have these goose gear plates on the top of 2 of them because that allows them to then be steps. So we step onto them for climbing in and out of the Jeep if we're like we are now on a hill and things get too high. They're very, very lightweight themselves, so the canister doesn't weigh a ton, so it keeps out the water, the sand. You never know when we're camping if we're throwing stuff out into the weather. Your valuables inside stay dry, and then we will also stack them and then have a platform that we can use like a cutting board. So a lot of times we don't use the mountain hatch because I have these stacked up and I can just make another little extra table. So they're super versatile, really reliable, very convenient, and then we stack them up 3 high. They fit perfectly right in the back corner of the Jeep for traveling, and we strap them down and we're gone.
One of the other things that we have purchased and really like is the Sea Gear sand-free mats. They are great. The only downside is that they are a little bit slick, so you have to be careful, but also like when you put a regular tarp down and you get moisture underneath it, these do not hold moisture, and when you do get dirt and sand on them, you can just shake them off. The other thing though is if you get a fire and an ember, it'll burn a hole through it very quickly, but other than that, they are awesome.
Hey guys, I know this is a little bit different than our usual adventure videos, but I thought this would be kind of a cool opportunity for you guys to see a different rig. It's still got a GoFastCamper, but they're set up a lot different than me. Plus, I haven't seen many GoFastCamper Gladiator rig walkarounds. Anyways, I've got plenty more adventure videos coming, a whole backlog worth, so be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.